Hello, I'm your Kingdom Spiritual Transformation and Life Purpose Life Coach and Mentor, Latricia Booker. And I'm popping in on you to tell you that your enemies are afraid because you have not been denied. Your enemies are afraid because you have not been denied. And I'm going to lead this message with a few scriptures. The first one is Isaiah 40:31. And it says, "They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." And then we have Galatians 6:9. And it says, "And let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart." And then we have Habakkuk 2:3. And it says, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak, and it will not lie. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." And so, kingdom people, there is this belief that if it hasn't happened for you yet, it won't happen. Let me be clear. There is a belief among your enemies that if it hasn't happened for you yet, that it won't happen. Furthermore, there is this other belief that if they put certain things in place, they do certain, I almost don't even want to say this, but I'm hearing spells. They just do their stuff, do their 1-2, their witchcrafty, pooey stuff that they do, that you will be denied access to what it is God has for you. There is a belief, this belief among your enemies. Again, you not having received it yet says to them, what they've done has worked. It's saying that it won't happen for you because it hasn't happened. So they believed, ED, past tense, that it wasn't going to happen because it hadn't happened. Well, kingdom people, what's happening is that it's happening. And now your enemies are afraid because they see what they put in motion, what they put in place, what they're trying to do to keep it from happening is actually happening. And here's the thing. It was never not happening. It was just, we'll call it a delay. And a delay is part of God's plan. Here's the thing. When God delays a thing, which means it really isn't delayed, the time has just not come for it yet, it's not delayed. That doesn't mean you won't receive it. It doesn't mean access is denied to you, to what God has for you. God will never deny you access to what He has for you unless you're outside of His will, unless you rebel in some kind of way. You get outside of, His will for your life. But that's not what you're doing, kingdom people. And even then, sometimes when you get out of His will for your life, when you come back around, it's still you get access to it. It's still yours. It never not was yours. It's just that you have to get in alignment with it. And so, as Isaiah 40:31 says, "They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength." See, while you waiting, first let me say this. The very fact that this says "they that wait upon the Lord" means there is waiting involved. There's going to be some waiting. It's not going to come just like that. But it says that they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. So what's happening, kingdom people? While you're waiting, you're being renewed. Your strength is being renewed. God is renewing your strength. And while you're waiting and your strength is being renewed, you're learning, you're training. God is getting you ultimately ready for that which that he has for you. Now, why does he have to renew your strength? Because in waiting, you can get weary. Let's go on. They shall mount up on wings like eagles. So you waiting on God. Ain't nothing like waiting on God. Whenever you waiting on God, you waiting in good hands. He's renewing your strength. And when the time comes, you're going to mount up on wings as eagles. Let me just tell you, that's what you're doing. You're mounting up. Some of you mounting up and you're starting to fly. Some of you mounting up. And that's what your enemies see, that you're mounting up on wings as an eagle. Then it goes on to say, they shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. So once you mount up on your wings as eagles, which is what you're doing, you're going to run. You're going to move. You're going to fly. And you won't be weary. You're going to walk this thing out for God, what he's walking you into. And you're not going to faint. That delay was part of God's plan, if we're going to call it a delay. Galatians 6:9. And let us not grow weary while doing good. So keep doing what God is calling you to do. You keep doing good, doing good deeds, doing good, treating people good. Because many of you have had a lot of evil done towards you. People have mishandled you, but you still chose to do good. And it says, do not grow weary while doing good. Still, be cool. It's good, because listen, I'm just reminded right now of how scripture say, when you work as if you are working unto the Lord. And here's the thing, it says work as if, but I would just go a step further and actually encourage you to work unto the Lord. Whatever work you're doing, do it unto the Lord. Yeah, you may have a boss, you may have a manager. In this life, we always have someone we have to answer to, the IRS. You know what I'm saying? If you own anything like property or land, you got to answer to those counties and by paying your property taxes. And we got to, if you're a developer, you got to abide by zoning laws. You got to answer to them by explaining things. I mean, if you own businesses, specifically restaurants, you have to put certain things in place and you have to pass certain inspections, health inspections. Listen, other kind of businesses, the same thing. It doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, if you're a charity, you got to do things a certain kind of way. They got to be approved. You got to make sure it's done properly and in order before that thing can proceed. Even then, once you're established as a charity business, whatever the case may be, you have to uphold certain standards. You got to report. You got to report things, earnings, revenue, whatever the case may be, different things. So I'm just mentioning that to say we all have to answer to somebody. But ultimately, what I'm encouraging you to do is whatever you do, just be doing it unto the Lord, because that's really who is operating in and through you to fulfill his purpose for your life. And so, going back to Galatians 6:9, and let us not grow weary while doing good. So don't get weary, even if things go left, things not working out the way you would like them to at first. Let me say that. Things seem to be moving slow, delayed, if you will. Listen, it says, for in due season you will reap if you do not lose heart, if you don't faint, so to speak. So be encouraged as you're doing good. Be encouraged as you're moving on the things of God. Have a cheerful countenance, because again, you're doing it unto the Lord. But this is on a whole nother level where you can, where the encouragement and the motivation really comes to just not lose heart as you're doing good, as you're pursuing and moving in the things of God. When God shows you something, he gives you a vision, and or he gives you specific instructions and strategy as to what to do. saying do this, do that, ultimately what he's showing you to do is taking you to what he showed you. And sometimes it may not necessarily make sense to you. Sometimes it does. Sometimes it makes complete sense. But even when it makes complete sense, you still don't know overall what moves God gonna tell you to make. You know it when he tell you to do it. But the thing is this, you have to trust God enough to just make the moves he's telling you to make. And you're doing that. But what I want to really say here is, when he give you that vision and he starts to tell you what to do, even if it takes a while, don't lose heart. A delail is not necessarily a denial. Delail, if we're going to call it that, is part of God's plan. And what's happening again, you're making moves. You're doing what God is telling you to do because the time has come for you to do them. And so your enemies are afraid because they're seeing that you're moving towards that, what God has called you to. That in many cases, that in many cases they thought they had put those things in place and did their little witchcraft and their little black magic, whatever they did to keep you from it. They realizing that not really. Just because it hadn't happened yet don't mean that it wasn't gonna happen. And so that's making your enemies afraid. And so going back to that vision, Habakkuk 2:3 says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, which means you gotta wait. It's not gonna happen. When God gives you the vision, it don't happen right when he gives it to you. It's for an appointed time. Again, strategy, instructions, when it's time. You know, first of all, you go through a whole lot of spiritual warfare, if I just be real with you. First. And you go through that first. And then he started giving you strategy. Not that he's not giving you certain instructions and not leading you along the way alone, all along, because he do be. But when God is ready to amp that thing up, he started giving you more specific strategy and instruction. He started really moving you deeper into what he's called you to. And again, spiritual warfare gets a little more intense. And that's because you're now you're gaining ground. You know, you're getting some momentum. And the enemy sees that. And so he panics. And the enemy in your enemies, those people that are people who are your enemies, they get to panicking when they see you making certain moves. Because again, they put certain things in place to keep you from being able to reach that God has for you, from being able to become who God has created you to be. And so what happens is they realize that what they thought they was doing and what they thought they had did is not really working. And so they panic. Do they start doing some more stuff? And yes, they do. They do. And so that doesn't matter. None of that matters, because no weapons formed against you shall prosper. And every tongue that rises up against you, you shall condemn it. And some of them do just that. Their tongue rises up against you. They start calling you crazy. They start lying on you and saying different things about you because they see you rising into who God has called you to be. So that is an effort to shut you down. That is an effort to, destroy your reputation so people won't take you seriously. And my thing always be the people that they be talking to don't have anything to do with what I am called to. So that always, baffles me. But see, people that operate like this, they're not thinking like that. They're just trying to make you look bad. Many a times to the people that that know you. Again, those ain't the people necessarily that you call to per se. And they're not the people that's going to help you get to where God is taking you to. Usually those are people you had to leave behind, for different reasons. But, the point here is that I was saying that those tongues that rise against you shall be condemned. And really, I'm just hearing you condemn them because you rising and you becoming who God called you to be. You don't have to condemn nobody. People, when they open their mouth and start talking about you in a negative manner and against what God is doing in your life, because that's ultimately what they're doing when they're, trying to scandalize your name and, spreading rumors, and just because you're becoming who God called you to be, they're already condemned when they do that. But again, you're rising into who you are is condemning them. So anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on that, but I just needed to hit on that because it occurred to me. But for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak. So people think you not gonna get it because there's delay. Sometimes you think that. Sometimes we can think, oh man, God showed me this and this and the other, and it's been years, until we come into the understanding that, oh, it's for an appointed time. He showed me that then, but now he got to walk me through the process to get me there. But at the end, it will speak. That vision gonna speak. He walking you right into that vision that is speaking, that's getting ready to speak more. And it will not lie. It won't lie. What God showed you is going to be just what he said and more. Because that's just how God does things. He will do exceedingly and abundantly. Eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, and neither has it entered into the heart of man. Not even yours. What he has for you. He showed you some stuff. God be showing you a sample of a vision. But it's more than that. And it will not lie. It won't lie. What he showed you definitely won't lie. But then he got some bonuses there for you too. Though he always does above and beyond. That's just the kind of God he is. Though it tarries, wait for it. Wait. There you go again. Wait. Isaiah 40:31. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. So you waiting. And when you wait, it don't mean you're not working and doing things. Absolutely. You must. But what he showed you, where you going, there's a weight to that while you're working. It's coming. Your work is getting you there. And it ain't always just the physical work you're doing. It's your spiritual work as well. The spiritual work is actually, it precedes the physical work. And then it becomes simultaneously. You're spiritually working as well as physically working. But you have to do a lot of the spiritual work first before God even starts to move you physically. Not that you're not doing certain things. Like what keeps coming to me personally is maybe, and it could be different for you. It's different for everybody. But God probably had you going to school for a period of time before he started moving you into what he called you to. That's how it was for me personally. When I was doing certain things, I was literally moving on what God was telling me to do, what he was showing me to go to school for. Although at one point in time, I was trying to do one thing, and that kind of went left, and he sent me in a different direction. And it was because that's what he wanted me to know, the way he wanted me to have my credentials for what he was later getting ready to call me to. And so, and not just that, but just have that understanding. And sometimes it's more than what we know, as I've already said, why God do what he do. And later you will start to see, you begin to start to see why God had you move that way. Anyhow, wait for it. Wait for it. Although the vision tarry, wait for it. It is for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak, and it will not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will surely come. And then once it come, it won't tarry. Because it's coming. It's here. And so, kingdom people, your enemies are afraid because you have not been denied what God has for you. Not denied access like they thought you would be. Your enemies are terrified too. Some of them, I often hear people say that they didn't believe in you. They counted you out. And while I do believe that that does happen, I know so. I've seen it. In my personal experience, people who thought that also went through extremes to try to keep me from prospering. So if you count me out and you think, why are you going through extremes to keep me from prospering? I always like to say that that's because they know what's in you. They just don't want to see it happen. On a whole nother note, you're not there yet. So some people, when you're around certain people and certain people are in your life, God have it set up where you're not coming into that yet. Because what ends up happening is you find out that they're not truly for you. You find out their true heart intentions. And so these are the kind of people that can be opportunists. They want to use you. You know, they just want what they can get up out of you. And sometimes they want to control it, you and it. And so God allowed things to transpire a certain kind of way so you can be removed out of those people's lives. It wasn't for that time while they were in your lives. And it's, again, because of their heart posture, because of their intentions. They were not really for you. They didn't have your best interest at heart. So God couldn't have that. And not only that, if they can't wait for it, not that they should be waiting for your stuff. If they're in a real relationship with you and have real love for you, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't be about, it ain't came yet. You're not doing it yet. But again, God allowed you to be in that place and in that space so that they can show themselves. So you can be removed, because it ain't for them who not really there for you, who don't really love you, who not really rocking with you. God don't want to bring you into this except for in the people who you're in healthy relationships and dynamics with. And so those situations were not that. Again, many of these people put things in place to try to keep you and block you from what God had for you. So surely God wasn't going to bring you into it while they were around. And that's why he didn't. I mean, it just wasn't time yet. But in the meantime, while you were waiting, while it was tearing, I added some extra ear. While it was tearing, he allowed those things to play out, unfold, so that he can get you into a space outside of those folks, so you can be free to move in this without all that extra stuff. You understand what I'm saying, kingdom people? And so, yeah, kingdom people, again, denial is part of God's plan, if we're gonna call it that. And it's really the vision that just is for an appointed time. That's really what it is. We, like many of us, call it denial. Not denial. They call it denial because that's what they want, your enemies. But it looks like denial. But again, denial is a part of God's plan, if we're going to call it that. But it's really the vision. For the vision is yet for an appointed time. So, kingdom people, you are mounting up on wings as an eagle. You are moving closer into that vision. Some of you all are in there already, but the vision is so full that it's so much more that you have to walk out of that vision. And your enemies that thought they were stopping and blocking and all what they think they be doing and thought they had done are realizing that, nope, it's not that. This ain't that, and that ain't this. So your enemies are afraid because you have not been denied access to your stuff that they thought they were blocking you from. And that is all I have to say about that. So if you like this video and if it resonates with you, please just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Then click on that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Thank you. Make sure you go ahead and ring my bell. Ring my bell. Ring my bell so that you can receive a notification every time I upload a new video. If there's any information you need to know about me, you can find all that right down below in the description box, along with other helpful resources. Kingdom people, thank you all so very much for being here. Thank you for all your likes, subscribe, shares, all your comments and feedback, for all your financial contributions to my channel, and for all the seeds that you sow into me and my ministry. Kingdom people, thank you. Now, kingdom people, I love you all so very much. I really don't want to leave you, but I do have to go right now. Yet I will be back to hold my kingdom people down. Now, kingdom people, above all else, let the Holy Spirit lead you in all things at all times. Kingdom people, we are untouchable, we are unmovable, we are unstoppable, and we are unbreakable. Kingdom people, keep growing, keep going, and go and be great. That is our time. This Jesus girl is out. Shalom and peace.